Hi, my name's Rachel Baird, and along with my co-host Ed Peruta, I do a talk show every Saturday from noon to 2 on YouTube called Summary Judgment Talk Show. Ed can't be here with us today, so I'm joined by cardboard cutout Ed, because both Ed and I want to continue onward with a series we've been doing about the college bribery scandal. It's called Ed and Rachel on the college bribery schemes. Today is episode 5, and we'll be looking at Manuel and Elizabeth Henriquez of Atherton, California. The scheme involves their two daughters, referred to as the older daughter and the younger daughter, in a 204-page affidavit for probable cause prepared by FBI Special Agent Laura Smith. We've talked about this affidavit in our previous episodes, and the information that I'm conveying in this episode and other episodes is taken directly from the affidavit. It contains excerpts from recorded telephone conversations and emails obtained during the investigation of the bribery schemes. So let's begin. Let's go back to October 3rd, 2015, when the older daughter took her SATs. She was assisted by Mark Riddell of the Tampa, Florida area, who was brought in by Rick Singer as part of a scheme for the older daughter to cheat on the test to obtain higher scores. The hub of the operation was Rick Singer, who ran a for-profit company called Edge College and Career Network. He also ran a foundation, a nonprofit foundation called the Key Worldwide Foundation. And you'll see as we proceed how that for-profit and the nonprofit combined to further this cheating scheme. The daughter, who took the test on October 3rd, 2015, with the help of Mark Riddell, sat right next to Mark Riddell at her private college preparatory school in Belmont, California, and obtained a score of 1900 out of 2400, which was 320 points higher than any previous score she had obtained. And afterwards, in gloating about how she had achieved the higher score and how she had cheated, I'll read directly from the affidavit at paragraph 92. On or about October 3rd, 2015, Mark Riddell purported to proctor the SAT. He sat side by side with the Henriquez daughter during the exam and provided her with answers to the exam questions. And after the exam, he gloated with the mother and her daughter present about the fact that they had cheated and gotten away with it. Now, arrangements had been in the works since August of 2015 for transportation of Mark Riddell from the Tampa, Florida area up to the San Francisco area to take the test. And this operation differs a little bit from other operations we've seen in previous cases, because as we've seen previously, Rick Singer controlled a West Hollywood test center and a Houston test center, because he had operatives, test administrators at those centers who would condone and allow and look the other way when Mark Riddell would come and help the students with their test. He would either proctor exams and correct the test answers afterwards, so perhaps the students would not know what had happened, or he would sit side by side with the students and tell them the answers, or he would simply do the test for the students without the students even there. But in this case, the family retained Rick Singer to retain Mark Riddell to come directly to the school in the San Francisco area and take the test at the school, so that no arrangements had to be made to go to West Hollywood or to Houston, which, as we've seen previously, required a doctor's note saying that there was a disability and the student needs special time, and that's what got them out of the school to go take it at a separate individual test center. For whatever reason, the school in Belmont, California, allowed this aberration to occur, where a proctor from Tampa, Florida, came to administer the test, at their school, and apparently no one asked any questions. In looking at paragraph 89, we can get more of a feel for how this occurred. In a series of emails in late September 2015, CW2, that's Mark Riddell, cooperating witness number 2, explained to the Henriquez's daughter's high school counselor in sum and substance that he was willing to fly from Tampa to San Francisco to proctor the exam because my wife has a newborn, noting, "I would really appreciate the opportunity to proctor the test because I'm applying to grad school and I could quite frankly use the work." Counselor responded, "I have you set up to proctor and read for the Henriquez's daughter this coming Saturday, October 3rd. I don't understand that. I don't know if you understand it. I can't imagine that happening in any school setting without a number of questions being asked. But I think as we proceed through this, especially when we get to the end and see that the Henriquez's had $400,000 to donate to the Key Worldwide Foundation, we may have some answers why the school guidance counselor didn't ask a whole lot of questions when this strange occurrence came up about a proctor traveling from the Tampa, Florida Bay area to proctor a test in the San Francisco Bay Area. $25,000 was paid by Elizabeth and Manuel Henriquez in November of 2015. $15,000 of that $25,000 was wired to Rick Singer's personal account, and then Rick Singer in turn paid Mark Riddell, the gentleman who actually took the test, $10,000 in 3 separate installments. Approximately a year later, October 22nd, 2016, the younger Henriquez daughter took her ACT. And in this case, the family did go through the process where the younger daughter went to a doctor. The doctor signed off on a disability which enabled the daughter to have extra time in the test, which enabled the daughter to take the test, in this case the ACT, in an individualized setting, and that occurred at the Houston Testing Center. The proctor, cooperating witness 2, Mark Riddell, flew in from Tampa to Houston. He was not only proctoring the Henriquez younger daughter's test, but also another student, and he was giving them both answers at the same time. And apparently, to avert any suspicion, if the 2 students had the exact same answers, he would vary which ones they got wrong, so it would look like they got different answers wrong and that they took the test independently. And the younger daughter received a 30 out of a 36 on that ACT. Later on that month, Rick Singer paid an individual by the name of Barton Fox $50,000 to introduce Mr. Singer to Nikki Williams, who was the test administrator for the Houston Testing Center. And this opened up a lot of opportunity, a lot of additional opportunity for Rick Singer to use the Houston Testing Center to send students from all over the country who had gotten that letter from a doctor saying they were entitled to individualized testing. And the scheme was definitely furthered by incorporating Nikki Williams, the test administrator in Houston, into the whole scheme. Now, as these tests proceeded, we already have the older daughter taking the SAT. We have the younger daughter taking the ACT. As we'll see, they go on to take additional tests and do additional things. Rick Singer billed the family $75,000 more. And Mr. Hernandez said, instead of paying that $75,000, why don't we make an exchange? I went to Northeastern University. I'm an alumnus. I can work with you to get another of your clients admitted into Northeastern University. I can fix it so you have another lead to make money off of bribing a college to get a student in whose parents will then pay you money for it. And so Mr. Hernandez did indeed do this. He interviewed a student, and he gave the student the go-ahead with the admissions committee. He called numerous times to inquire about the student's status and admission, and in fact, the student was admitted to Northeastern University, and Mr. Singer received $25,000 from that student's family. Cut. There was a payment of between $25,000 and $30,000 for Rick Singer to arrange for the younger daughter to take 3 SAT subject tests and to take the ACT again. In this case, though, a different proctor was used than cooperating witness number 2, Mark Riddell, because Mr. Riddell was busy with other students. The scheme apparently was really picking up at this point. And also, the individual that they decided to use, known as Proctor 2, apparently was a lot cheaper, and indeed he was, because he was only paid $2,000 for each test he proctored, while Mark Riddell was paid $10,000. And so it was arranged for Proctor 2 to fly up from San Jose, California, to fly down from San Jose, California to the West Hollywood Testing Center on an occasion in June 2017 to take the 3 SAT subject tests for the younger daughter. And then he returned a couple weeks later to take the ACT again for the younger daughter. And this time the younger daughter received a 33 of a 36, which was an improvement over the 30 she had previously received. And on her subject test, she received out of 800, a 720, 740, and 770 on math, Spanish, and history tests combined. You'll remember back in October of 2015 when the older Henriquez daughter took the SAT test that was proctored by Mark Riddell. Well, around that same time, Rick Singer was also engaging on behalf of this family in a recruitment scheme with Georgetown University. He fabricated a story during the summer of 2015 that the older daughter had played tennis throughout the country. He assisted in drafting an essay for the older daughter to submit to Georgetown University. And I'll quote a little bit verbatim from that part of the scheme. On or about August 24th, 2015, Rick Singer circulated to Elizabeth Henriquez and her daughter a draft application essay. And the application essay went like this, quote, "Being a part of Georgetown women's tennis team has always been a dream of mine." Now bear in mind, this is a young girl that doesn't play tennis. "For years, I've spent 3-4 hours a day grinding out on and off court workouts with the hopes of becoming successful enough to play college tennis, especially at Georgetown. What is most amazing is how quickly I connected with Coach Ernst. He spent time with me while on campus and at several tournaments I played in." Now, the college tennis coach at Georgetown was Gordie Ernst, and he participated in the scheme, and he has in fact been indicted under RICO for participating in the scheme. This family wrote this essay with the help of Rick Singer. They sent to Gordie Ernst the fraudulent SAT scores that the older daughter had received. And after that, they made a donation on May 4th, 2016 of $400,000 to the Key Worldwide Foundation, which, as we already know, is a nonprofit. And so that money was not only used to bribe the older daughter's way into Georgetown University, but they were also able to take a tax donation, a tax deduction for the donation. Cooperating witness number 1, Rick Singer, who ran the Key Worldwide Foundation, issued a receipt for the donation, indicating in the receipt that the money would be used for disadvantaged youth. In a 14-month period, the Key Worldwide Foundation paid Gordie Ernst, the tennis coach at Georgetown University, a total of $950,000 for his part in allowing students to be admitted to Georgetown University through bribery. On this conversation, they didn't need to wiretap it anymore because Rick Singer had become a cooperating witness.
Well, the reason I'm calling is, so I'm in Boston now, and I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, first of all, you didn't saying it right. Boston, yeah.
Okay, excuse me. So I'm in, my foundation is getting audited now.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Right, and they're going back like they always do.
Yeah.
Pretty normal. So they're taking a look at my payments. So they asked me about large sums of money that come in from you guys.
Okay.
And so essentially,
for all the good deeds that you do.
Absolutely. So, of course, I didn't say anything, you know. I'm not going to tell the IRS that, you know, took the test, you know, or that Gordie.
Right, yeah.
Or that Gordie, you know, we paid.
Like, yeah.
Gordie to help her get into Georgetown, right?
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure that you are on the same page.
Okay.
In case they were to call.
So what's your story?
My story is essentially that you gave me money to our foundation to help underserved kids.
Yes, yes, of course.
And?
Those kids have to go to school.
Absolutely.
In another phone call that occurred later on November 5th, 2018, they were trying to get their story straight about which daughter took which test, where, and with what proctor. And in reading through this, it was a little bit confusing.
Okay, so essentially, your younger daughter came to Houston in October in 2016 to take her tests with.
Right.
And then I have to have it again that she, in 2017, in June, we took it in LA because, and it's like, I'm trying to figure out what happened there because there's money that went into my foundation. There's also like $775,000 credit, and that's when Manuel helped the Northeastern applicant get into Northeastern, right?
Right. I don't know that deal a whole 100%. I know there was a deal you guys talked about.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that was it because, right, and that went against the June one in LA, which wasn't Mark Riddell. It was obviously the other situation.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, and so
we didn't have Mark Riddell for that. We had what's his face, Proctor too.
But there was an ACT test,
right?
Wasn't it?
He did it again.
Oh, we did it again.
Remember the first one was actually those were subject tests as well.
But they couldn't have been because in June. So was June the subject test?
Yeah. Those are the subject tests they take after they get out. Remember there was what did she take? English, history.
Okay.
There was a math one because I know that was one we really need. It was like math B or 2 or whatever you call it. And then she also did some Spanish and some English or history or something. Shit, I don't remember. Getting confused between subject tests and AP tests.
Yeah, because
see, can I just look back at her ACT stuff and get back to you? Like I can look back in her file or I can just ask.
Okay, that'd be great. And then because I think that's
when he went back down in June. I don't think it was another ACT. We stuck with the ACT.
In October?
I think, yeah.
Okay. So if you could go back and check, that would be great.
Yeah, that was subject test. I'm almost positive that was because that would be the time of year that would be.
Right. That's what I thought. That is what I thought. But it looks like the date that the ACT date, but I don't know that. So could you check that? Would be great.
Yeah, so I would get back to you on that. I can ask my younger daughter. She definitely will remember.
Okay.
Do you want?
And then I know the first one is in Houston with Rick. Was there? Okay, so that's what I need to know. Okay.
Yeah, that was easy. That one I totally remember. And so after this conversation, the mother Elizabeth Henriquez called cooperating witness back and confirmed that the ACT was in fact taken first in Houston and then in LA, along with the subject test. Finally, there was a conversation between Manuel Hernandez and cooperating witness number 1. Okay, so why did my daughter do the test there, Houston? So we got to get that story.
So let me go into that. So you're right. That's part of it, right? So Nikki said to me, don't worry about it. You know, these are the out-of-state kids. Essentially, there's nowhere anybody knows, because in my books it doesn't show that there's any money paid for Rick helping your daughter. Do the test, okay? So there's nothing, because we did the deal with the Northeast applicant, so it doesn't show anything at all in our foundation or anything, just so you know.
Okay, and so there's no paper trail of money?
There's no paper trail of money, okay? Because remember, we did that and you helped, so.
Right. Just bear in mind that this last conversation occurred actually in Atherton, California, because Mr. Singer flew there to personally talk with Manuel and Elizabeth Henriquez, and at this time he was already cooperating with the government, so anything he said got directly back to the government. So later in that same conversation that Rick Singer was having with both Elizabeth and Manuel said, so, well, the question is that anybody calls me, the response is that I'm not going to comment regarding my daughter's Houston issue on simply getting a phone call from somebody.
Well, remember, she went there because she needed special...
I understand.
Accommodations.
But
I'm going to comment. We got to be very careful.
We got to be very careful, yeah. On just getting an inbound call from somebody. I have no idea who you are, so I'm not responding to an inbound call from anybody. End. Okay, thanks.
Okay.